My Gavan and Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Arakir Galadirth, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Dol Amroth as we continue on from where we left off last time. Mordor have attacked us at Tirtharos, and we beat them back with the help of newly come General Bornivnir. Mordor will not soon forget that humiliating defeat, one hopes, and we shall be attacking them shortly with our nation's finest son, Lord Imrahil, Conqueror of Umbar. He was the Great, but now he's decided to take the title of Conqueror, for it holds more weight in his mind, evidently. In terms of defence, Tirtharos is more important, and we can use that fort just there. So if we ship these two guys out, get them off north. We did try to... I've queued up a lot of training in anticipation of the coming enemy, but we're not going to get it for some time. We don't make very much money at the moment, and many of our regions actively despise us, so it's going to take a while to sort that out. But before Imrahil can get going, we're just going to capture Ardamir because the rebels have abandoned the city to its fate, and rather than waiting 4 turns... Oh, we don't have a ram yet. We are going to have to wait. So we are ending the turn. Let's press that. Oh, I already pressed that, didn't I? Let's press that again and get to it. Are we as loud as we can be? Yes. It was quiet in my head. Dol Amroth is continuing, obviously, as many of you have seen from the previous episode. It was 15, wasn't it? Episode 15. So this is number 16. And our goal... Apologies, I'm yawning. Oh, I just finished work. Oh, tiring day. We're heading north. We're going to fight back Mordor. I don't really know what the plan is, really, for victory conditions. I'm loath, really, if I'm honest, to set any victory conditions, because, as mentioned already, the aim, really, is to replace Dol Amroth with one of the revamped other factions for version 5. And... Oh, Minas Tirith has not yet fallen, actually, so we might be able to get there just in time. Bjorn's Hall has been besieged. We have civil disorder in Esthala and Khaldun. We are very close to all-out war with these peoples. Not all-out war, but I think Khaldun is going to abandon us soon. So we're going to be executing and massacring the entire population, which will see many of these structures actually be destroyed. When we take the city back, we will need to wipe them all out. Now, we took Esthala, but then moved the army off, but I'm not sure... Ah, over here, of course. He's going to Ankaragmir. And then those two armies will link together, and on our way back up, anyone that rebelled, we will just wipe them out. We won't spare them. So, Imrahil, let's get going up to Minas Tirith and hope we can get there to save Gondor before anything bad happens. I think we're probably going to be just in time, to be honest. I think Mordor has not really had enough time yet. We're only 63 turns in to really start destroying Gondor, so we've got a bit of time, a little bit of time to assist them. But now a turn has passed, we can attack Ardamir, and we are going to do that. But I'm not going to fight it myself, because that's totally unnecessary. So even though the castle has lots of people and would have made lots of tax money, it also would have hated us, and it almost certainly would have rebelled, which is the approach we're now going to have to take. These cities are going to break away from us if we don't massacre the entire population. And so it shall be so. And so it shall be so. Blimey, that's the most Tolkien thing I've ever said. Right, I don't need many of you then, because, as we've just established, when you kill them all, they don't rebel against you. So if we take everything but you two... Yes, there we are. And then if you guys head off to... No, that's really far away. But then Ankaragmir might have a much larger garrison. Well, you'll only be coming back anyway, so we'll head them off just in case they are needed. Oh, we got 2,000 gold coins for taking Ardamir. Oh, that's good. You, like everywhere else, can queue up the library. It's just taking forever to actually work. Oh, we can now recruit things. Because we've repaired the town hall. But I don't know whether all that money just went on something somewhere. Istiost built its school, so we're up at 6% Dunedain here. This one's an actual town, so we can keep the tax rate low. They will, the cultural unrest obviously is 60% of why they hate us. Distance to capital is always very minimal, but 60% is just because the town is 94% men of the East. And so it just hates us. So schools and things like that are the key production buildings that we want at the moment, the key things to focus on, because that's what's going to get them to like us. But in certain places like Finabel, where we wiped out the population, as you can see, it doesn't really matter what we build here, so we can go for economy. But not that that will do anything. But Esthala and Khaldun, I think, will rebel. So anyway, let us end the turn and send the ship back. But no, I think they will return. My hope is that Ened Wyth will be the nation that replaces Dol Amroth in time, but I don't think much work... Oh no, Lord of Links has done quite a bit of work, actually, setting the groundwork for the change to Ened Wyth. And when we can get around to it, we'll work on Ened Wyth again. Oh dear. I'm actually yawning. I'm actively yawning on the recording. It's terrible. I am rather sleepy. It's just such wonderful conditions to be sleepy at the moment because the heating in the house has just turned on. And yes, that's right, I'm afraid. We turn our heating on in October. I get laughed at. Some people at work laugh at me for that, but Sodom. I pay for the bloody heating. I'm going to turn it on when I want to. Dol Amroth Governor's Quarters. Oh, fantastic. That means we can get the guard barracks, which gives us a few things. Seaward units primarily, but it paves the way for us to get the first Knights' Lodgings out, which is our then ultimate building. It gives us the Knights of the Tirith Ayar, which are Dol Amroth only, Talon Knights, Tirith Ayar Wardens, Dol Amroth only, and Knights of the Silver Swan. So the Knights of the Silver Swan and the Talon Knights are now available everywhere. But as I've already mentioned, and as has been shown in this episode, they are much harder to get hold of than they used to be. We're going to go all this way and save Gondor, and we're not going to be able to actually get anything for it, because as you just saw, Gondor just took back Osgiliath. So I don't think we're going to really need to save Gondor, and this might actually turn into something of a conquest of Mordor rather than a saving of Gondor. But there's been calls, particularly from Vrasidas in our beta testing team, that Gondor needs to be buffed a little bit in version 5, because at the moment they seem to be routinely getting their behinds stomped upon. Ah, Khaldun finally rebelled. Oh, with the most pathetic garrison you've ever seen. Alright, that will allow us to kill them. So Esthala will be following shortly. And when the time comes, maybe Istion... I tell you what, in anticipation, let's just get Esthala to rebel, send them back to Fina Bell, and Istion, you come over to Esthala. When it rebels, you look to take it. Ah, Vildan Kalime, you have enough. You could get that building and have 2 free upkeep. But why would we want 2 free upkeep? We wouldn't want that, but it does allow more recruitment. But no, let's try and get some grain exchanges and things going. And I'll take your guardsmen, please. The army here is now grown to be quite nice. And you go, oh, fantastic. Bornivnir, you can show your prowess in battle, sir. Yagor is just the standard Mordor bodyguard, which is Uruk bodyguards. They're a relatively useful unit, effective against armor, 18 defense, 11 attack, but they don't have horses. And with Bornivnir as my subject, I shall prove to you all now why horsemen are supreme in this mod, which we all know already anyway. And now I'm probably going to get him killed. But do anything with confidence, and people will believe you. Oh, it's not boding well, is it, when we're starting running uphill? Where is he? He's coming towards us. We don't want to actually gallop uphill, so let's spend a little bit of time just walking. Move yourself over to here. And wait, and wait. Right, and then sprint now for the last little bit. And then charge into him. In he goes, just as they were turning. I'm not sure that will help much. There were 78 of them. There are now 42. Absolutely trounced them. We did lose 2 men, which is a pity. But the enemy fell. Oh, that wasn't a very good charge, I don't think, actually. No, let's run properly away and regroup. There we are. We've got plenty of time. We only really need to hit them once or twice more, so let's make sure that it actually goes as intended. So steady yourselves, and now charge into them. There we are, moving as a unit. Some of them are always so much keener to run than the others. There were 40 bodyguard, and there are now
for the moment, the fortune of
8.
battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as such.
Yagor, let us not let him bog us down in combat. And let's finish him off in glory, as the sons of Dol Amroth would finish any enemy under the hooves of their mighty war steeds. Is he already dead, actually? Where is he? Did they leave him behind somewhere? Because it doesn't look like he's any of those. Oh, there he is. He's that one on the edge, isn't he? Right, now we'll have to
Very
fight him.
much in our favour.
Oh, but Yegor and Bordenivnir are facing off against one another, although he's facing the wrong way.
The enemy army
Oh, he's running.
pursue and run them down.
Go on, Bordenivnir, you get the final blow. Knock him on the head. Oh, no, they're going to run around for ages before they actually decide to get him. Oh, they're really playing with him. They're toying with him. It's painful to see. Come on, someone just knock him over. Oh, Bordenivnir's gone in for the strike again, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be the one to get him. But it doesn't all matter all that much, so let's do it at times 6. There he goes.
Is utterly vanquished.
2 brave
Let all who
sons of
remember
the
this
Swan
day
fell today.
Remember it.
And we shall remember them. We shan't remember his name, for he is now dust, and shall remain so. But we shall hold the sons of Dol Amroth in high honour. And with that, Mordor's little transgression against us ends, and we get to move off to the far more defensible city of Pelennor, I believe it's called. And it's better because it is on a river. Although it's better actually if you were defending from an enemy from the south. We are defending, of course, from the north, which means it's not all that better, but it's closer to Mordor, and that's what is the key feature. So, Bordenivnir, join... No, I'll tell you what, Brandir, you can become the garrison of that place. Move all of those off. Bordenivnir will be with you in a turn. You go to Tirathoros, where you'll be free. Upkeep. And if you can, build us that farming. And then you guys are going to take back Pelennor. And we will start knocking on Mordor's door. Now, there really is the... because Gondor now has no southern enemies at all, like they border me and me alone, and Khand, not only are they now allied to Khand, but they're also not even bordering Khand, although I don't know if they allied, actually. I think the bug broke them as well. Yes, it did. So I'm the only one allied to Khand. But not only are they not allied to Khand, they're nowhere near them. So Gondor's only enemy now is Mordor, I think. Yes, it is. They're not even actually at war with Isengard. And let's just have a look from a modder's perspective. You'll understand. A modder's perspective. What is happening over here? Isengard is still busy finishing off Enedwaith, which they absolutely will do. Isengard beat Enedwaith every single time they set their mind to it. And as they should, they're significantly better than them. So Enedwaith are keeping Isengard a little occupied, which has bought Rohan a bit of time. I'll note the Hornburg and Ginyard haven't fallen, but of course Entwide has. And so's Rochburg. So Mordor is actually spreading itself way too thin, and that is why I think Gondor has just come back into the fight. So it's a combination of, Gondor only now having one enemy, and when Gondor only has one enemy, they can put so much more weight into that enemy than anyone else can. And Mordor are now fighting Gondor, Dol Amroth, Khand, and Rohan, which is 4 fronts, essentially. They're fighting here up in Rohan. They're fighting, obviously, around here, where Gondor's keeping them busy, and I'm attacking them down here in the south. And Khand is whether or not they're actually attacking them. They're at least keeping them busy in the east. So Mordor are just done for. Like, there's no way that they will now come out of this well. But I think we can end the turn again. But it depends if you like factions or not. Obviously, for a person who purely enjoys the challenge, this campaign ended 6 or so turns ago when Harad and the Ardenaim died. And that I completely understand. If you're only in it for the challenge, DaC is probably not the longest game that you will have played, or the campaigns are probably a touch short for your liking. But if you're in it because you really like the setting and certain factions really connect with you in the way that Dol Amroth does for me, then you will thoroughly enjoy Divide and Conquer. And it won't matter the challenge, it's just nice. There is that sense that I think a lot of people have with the High Elves, that feeling of basically saving the entire world, even if it's not that difficult anymore. And that is certainly something that certain nations do have in abundance. Now, I don't think Captain Halthor is actually good enough, unfortunately, to take Khaldun back. He is cavalry, granted, and he's only got to take them down, and they're a rubbish unit. But there are only 47 of him, and he will take losses every time he charges. So the moral of this story is that I'm going to retreat. And we'll wait for our army to come in from... Oh, bugger, we have to fight this one. Alright, well, we might as well fight it. We'll get so many more kills than the AI would.
The troops are assembled. Prepare for
But then the AI is struggling here, aren't they? The rebels, because the way that the rebels work, as already alluded to, is that they're broken down into sub-regions, and those sub-regions act as individual factions, and it's how the game copes with the fact that the rebels could own the entire world at once. And the AI is not good enough to know what to do if it owns the entire world, and it's trying to ship troops here, there, and everywhere. So it breaks them down into sub-regions, and we're fighting against Corsair rebels, which is the regions around sort of southwest Harad. And I think it stretches up the coast actually to the mouths of the Adrian, where it then becomes Gondor rebels. But I think there is a separate Haradrim rebels that we will meet when we get to An Karagmir. But anyway, these Corsair rebels, of course, were first of all focusing on defending Erolond. Was it called Erolond? The castle to the east of Umbar. But then it was obvious my forces were going to take that, which they did. So then the AI has then turned north to Khaldun to stop the siege, where they've managed to arrive in time. But again, they're just caught between which city do they want to defend the most. But this cavalry unit will still do wonders against these Azrazai raiders, and they will take a lot of losses. There are 202 of them, and there were 47 of us going into the charge. We had a nice wide line. That was about as good as we could hope. And we killed over 100. Oh, goodness gracious. Run away quickly, run away. See, but I mean, we lost 7 men, and now we've got to repeat that feat, which was a fantastic feat, but we do have to repeat that now 3 times minimum. And we might just about do it, actually. It depends how well the enemy's cohesion remains, because if they do that thing, then we may not do all right. But no, I think we're going to do it. Because the enemy is staying in groups, they're allowing us to charge into them. They're letting us charge down the hill as well. It's just really setting us up to win this, aren't they? We should have fought it. Oh dear. I'm sure we have enough to take on one more. If this gentleman is not suggested for promotion after this, then that'll be a travesty. Also, I don't know why the fellow just stopped talking in the middle of his sentence there. And also, it doesn't appear to be running at time 6. Oh, no, it is. Why are we chasing them anyway? What do we care? 17 men lost, 575 killed. Azrazaya Raiders, though. I mean, I shouldn't have been that surprised. They are the worst unit to take up against cavalry from anywhere in this southern area. I think the only units, really, that are worse than them are things like Snagger, which just fall to anything running into them, not just cavalry. But Raiders don't have very much armor, which isn't good against charge. They have a lower... I think they have a lower mass. They have a standard mass, which is lower than cavalry by its very, by definition, inherently. Ah, a bride has been presented. Elfir shall be married to Rivaleth. Fantastic. And they want us to take An Karagmir, which we are about to do. And there we are. See, this one is Haradrim rebels. And has a considerably larger garrison with Mumakil. Are you joking? That, I think, is the garrison that the game starts with, isn't it? I don't think anyone has taken this. Well, no. We're not going to... If they rise up and fight us, we're dead. We're not taking on Mumakil, let's be honest. Even with Captain Nirthor, so... Oh, Esthala did not rebel, despite pulling the general out. Well, we'll continue with our initial plan then. So, Istion, just come and stand outside and wait. And Halthor, you absolute demon. Oh, look at that, blimey. What a... what a look. Amunaitha will library, that's good. Norian is now under attack again, but this time Imrahil is right there. He's ready, he's waiting, and he's going to carve down our foes. Mining network gives about 450 for a cost of 8,500. That's not actually that bad, is it? But it costs 5,700. Oh, we're losing money now. Oh, well, that's good to know. Possibly because Umbar has a really obscure land border now, so it's probably making less money. No, it's making 500 gold coins more than it did before. So who knows? Where are we at the moment? Amunaitha, you're a relatively central province. You connect to Esthala, you connect to Gobel Mirlond, you connect to Vildan Kalime, and you do connect to Western Horondor. So roads would be good, but again, you're never going to get them. But you might as well just punt for it, mightn't you? Let's go with the mines first. We'll have the money eventually. But we're not going to get An Karagmir any time soon. So instead, this force is going to need to mop up these rebels and assist with Khaldun. But then I think that'll be about it, to be honest. So you guys, there's no point going to meet with him. Just come back.
We can go no further
and Imrahil, Your first call to honor, sir. Oh no, you can't get in because the Gondorian army is standing on the Pelennor.
Onward.
Does anyone particularly mind if I cheat move him in there? Because of course Gondor would actually let me pass because I am Imrahil of Dol Amroth. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm just going to cheat move him in. Because Gondor would absolutely not stop me moving him in to save their capital city. Move character Imrahil 326. What's that? 219. Bing boom bosh. Can we attack? Yes, we can. Oh, he's going to go all the way around to do it, though. No. Oh, look, Denethor's still alive. Oh, wow. Gondor have really done well. Hello, Mozu the Fearless. I am Lord Imrahil, Conqueror of Umbar, and with me is Captain Duron, Captain Helaguion, and Maiman the Fearless. And all three of them are not going to do sod all again in support, but I will absolutely ruin your day. Oh, you've got Loki and Asrim. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. It's nice to see something other than just the usual trash, which is the rest of your army, apparently. But let's do it. The first combined might. The first combined fight, I should say, sorry. Between Dol Amroth, Gondor, and Mordor. Although Gondor absolutely could deal with this on their own. They don't need me. But as we've already discussed, Mordor, for whatever reason, is very powerful. Oh, it's like the Rohirrim coming to the field on the Pelennor, except with way less grandeur. Right, if we can avoid using these four, we will. So let's keep those out. Unless in the utmost end of need, because they're garbage. The rest of you, though, are all about on a par. Shall we actually just have a look for information purposes? Pennithgelin Cavalry have a 7 attack with a 10 charge and a 15 defense. And Squires are 6, 11, 13. So slightly better charge, but less attack, so therefore essentially the same. But they have less defense. So you could argue the Pennithgelin Cavalry is probably better overall than the Squires, but you do pay 65 more gold coins per turn for the cavalry of Pennithgelin. In terms of design, though, it's very much what you prefer, because you will note that the Pennithgelin cavalry are basically designed off of the Squires. So do you prefer your cavalry with kite shields and greenery, or round shields and bluery? The question is yours. But leading them all, of course, is Imrahil himself. Oh, and the enemy has lined up so very nicely for us. But we won't just charge into them in a straight line, because that's not going to do out, is it? But we will widen our lines. Move everyone slightly further forward. I don't think they have much cavalry. But don't run just yet, everyone. Oh, no, actually, do run, if you would. Let's get into positions. They're starting to shoot us. Right, let's give it a pause so that we get the maximum dramatic effect. You're going to hit those Orc Raiders. You're going to hit those Orc Scouts. You're also going to hit those Orc Scouts. You're going to come through and hit some Moran and Guard that are clobbering around in the centre there. You're going to come through and hit some Orc Archers. You're doing the same. And you guys come just a bit closer for now, and Imrahil do the same. And in the line hits. And 26% of the enemy has already died. Right, don't let them stay there and fight, because they will take a lot of losses. Squires are a good cavalry unit, as we have already seen, but they're not like little powerhouse cavalry units. They need to cycle charge like every other cavalry does in the game. But now Imrahil can come through and show his stuff. Oh, they are lightning fast, the Swanguard. Oh, that's just terrifyingly strong, isn't it? Oh, if that unit doesn't make you love Dol Amroth, then I don't have anything that will, I'm afraid. We ride for the glory of Gondor. Together, knights, come! Battle for Middle-earth was such a fun game. It still is. I mean, I play it every now and then. I'm one of the lucky ones who had the foresight to keep his disc copy. So I'm able to play Battle for Middle-earth as and when I please.
Bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Right, you guys run out. You guys are set and ready. Turn on those Moran and Guard. You, Uruk Bodyguard. Oh, yes, the General, of course. Imrahil, someone worthy of your time. Who's that we've got charging in there? They're just normal Squires. See, charging into the Bodyguard, they do hardly anything compared to the Corsairs. The Raiders. But Imrahil charging into the Bodyguard will have fantastic results. Right, you three over there. Is there anyone left? Yeah, there's some more archers there. We'll go and hit them. Finish those off for me, please. You fellows down here, you've done well, but pull out. Imrahil is swooping through those orc maulers who are trying to run from him. He's taking a couple of them down on his way through. Don't die, sir. Come on. Catch up with the others. They've caught the bodyguard, but it's not really worth it now. In the centre here, we've got some Moran and Guard. Oh, look, there's orc scouts over there that are fighting on. You guys killing off those orc archers. Oh, the orc bodyguard was severely hit, actually. Imrahil, run over there. Let's speed this one up. It is over. The day is ended. Dim his eyes. Smashing through into those Moran and Guard. They're down to almost nothing. The Orc bodyguard now stands at 11 or 10 or somewhere around that number. Let's zoom out so we have a better understanding. There's 24 Orc scouts still living there. The enemy, our cavalry has hit them, and then more cavalry hits them. It's just over. If we did this, though, with these 4 Gondor Cav militia at the back, it would be a drastically different result. The Cav militia is nowhere near as good as the Squires. Do you want to see, in fact? Cav militia have a 4 attack, which is almost half that of the Squires. Well, it's 2 points less. 1.5 times less. Their charge of the Squires is 11 and the Cav is 6, so again closing in on about half. But the defence, though, isn't actually that bad, but it's in their punching power where they lack it, unfortunately.
Behold how our cowardly
Was he dead?
foe
Yes,
runs.
end the battle.
This is a clear victory.
We lost 72, and Captain Duran lost 14, and Motsu the Fearless losing himself, and 1,304 orcs alongside that. Imrahil taking 247, but not claiming the top spot. That goes to one of the Amrothian Squires with 279 souls on the books. Absolutely fantastic. Now, with our help, we can force actual battles, in which case Gondor's supremacy will shine through, and we will be knocking on the doors of Barad-dûr before the Dark Lord can come out and scowl at anybody. Which he'll try and do, of course. But if we can take Barad-dûr, that also stops the Nazgûl respawning, and that's something we would like very much to do, because not that they're a massive powerhouse or anything, they're not going to change the tide of this battle in Mordor's favour, but they are a nuisance. Like, it has to be said, and you can't ignore the fact that they are powerful individual units. And if you catch them on a bad day, they're particularly no. If you aren't commanding the battle with perhaps as much clarity and micromanagement as you should be, then they can give you real jip. But speaking of jip, I noticed that Caer Andros has fallen to Mordor. Captain Girithak comes through with a much bigger army, but if we could kick him back over the river and take Caer Andros for ourselves. We share the same culture as Gondor, and Caer Andros, I should imagine, has a huge Gondorian culture. 44! Mordor has held that for ages. Oh, Gondor, do you want to give me Minas Tirith? That'd be really handy. If you could just give me Minas Tirith, like, just as a service to the sacrifice that I have, the blood that has been spilt in the southern deserts in defense of your lands. I think Minas Tirith is a small price to pay.
Awaiting your command.
I ended that siege, didn't I? Oh no, there we are. That was lucky. We would definitely been attacked. We might still get attacked, but time will tell. Let's give it an end turn, and then ideally end it after that. As long as we don't get attacked. But no, we've caught them perfectly. We've caught Mordor just at the point that they were about to really start taking Gondor out. And so we can actually press. And I think it's been a while since we've been in Mordor, isn't it? Dorwinion, I think, was the last time we fought in Mordor, and that was some months ago now. And we never actually fought at Barad-dûr, did we? So if we can push in and take Mordor out, I'd like that. Let's save the world for once, and rather than see it burn. But Isengard will be the real challenge. They will snowball into the lands that Enedwaith once held. Rohan will put up nothing of a fight. Even Rohan's the real challenge. If we can save Rohan, that's the plan. Because then we can help them with Isengard, and our 2 grand cavalry armies can combine to wipe the floor with Saruman's forces. What does he come with? Oh, 2 woodland hunters and a Hrondor mercs. Blimey O'Reilly. Istion. It's time for you to prove your valour, sir. No, I don't think he could win that, because the hunters will get shots off, and they have a ridiculous missile attack of 5. And there's only 13 of them. No, I'm not going to We're going to retreat. So Estala fell and actually put up a fight, whereas obviously Khaldun fell with nothing, with no threat whatsoever. Finally, I've got a grain exchange. Oh, that's good news. Do you not have a town hall here? Where's our town hall building? There. No, you don't. You don't even have a lowly town hall. So I can't retrain anything even if I want to. But at least Istion made it out alive. We'll get Estella back very easily. I mean, those units were annoying for Istion on his own, but they're no threat for something like Adrihil and his army. So Adrihil, if you swing up north, take back Estella, sending you on a grand round-the-world trip. Otherwise, everywhere else seems to be all right. You might as well go and sit in Istiost until you're ready. But for now, that is where I'm going to end this episode. So in the next one... Oh, the Mordor army moved off. Oh, and the Mordor army also has this region. What's it called? Anorian. Which isn't strictly speaking true. Oh, no, yes it is. Sorry, yes it is. This is Anorian. But Minas Tirith gets clumped into Anorian as well. But I'm looking at the map that I have on the wall next to me. And Minas Tirith is like right on the border of Anorian. But then that happens quite a lot with a lot of major cities, doesn't it? Particularly the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kinshasa and Brazzaville, isn't it? They're on opposite sides of a river, but they're both right on the borders of their country. And so I suppose it's a common occurrence. But I always just think of towns being in the middle of the region that they are known for. But anyway, I'm digressing massively. We could also take Anorian, is the point of that little story. But what I think I would like to do is go up and, if we can... Oh, bloody hell, there's loads of orcs out here. Oh dear, they're going to attack us and then some. Captain Uthrak. Now, because cavalry gets massively underrepresented in auto-resolves, every single one of these armies will think that they can beat Imrahil's force, which of course they cannot. But I don't want to fight that now because I am going to save it. So in the next one, we'll take down Uthrak, and we will then siege Caer Andros. If we can shut down this Mordorian lifeline, the next crossing point is, of course, Osgiliath, and after that, it's all the way down here at the mouth of the Anduin. So that's Mordor shut in the north. And the next crossing to the north is the Argonath itself. The crossing after that is one of these bends in the wold. These are called the Undeeps. The South Undeep, I think, and North Undeep. Yes, but I've got them on the wrong side of the river. This is the North Undeep, and this is the South Undeep. But this general area is, of course, the wold, and this general area is the Brownlands, where the Entwives once lived. And I'm digressing again, but I'm sure there's a river crossing somewhere up here, which is how Mordor... Well, no, Mordor just went straight through, didn't they? They crossed over at the Entwash. Anyway, we'll attack him next time. But for now, here endeth the lesson. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until we speak again, Navair Naden Pedimad Melunin, and farewell.